Welcome to The Floss, the self-help show for people that probably don't need it. You can follow the show on Instagram at The Floss Pod, or you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/theflosspod. If there's something you do that you think everybody should do, or something you do that you don't think anybody should do, email it to us at theflosspod@gmail.com. We might discuss it. Welcome to The Floss. This is part 2 of Drew Gigis's feature episode. We just got done from a halftime where Drew didn't laugh at any of my fucking jokes, and we talked about cavemen and whether or not women invented fire. I learned a new racial slur. And if you want to listen to that halftime, you can subscribe to the show's Patreon at patreon.com/theflosspod. We upload raw, uncut video footage of every interview recording session. Drew, thanks for coming back.
I appreciate you having me.
And I never thanked you for the first episode either. Thank you for being here.
Sorry, you're pretty ungrateful. But...
Yeah, I get that.
Thank you for also, for continuity's sake, wearing the same clothes as the week before.
Yeah, that's major.
This is just my everyday outfit.
He doesn't own any other clothes.
I do once it dips below 50. This is all I wear.
His girlfriend actually discovered fire in their apartment and burnt all of his other clothes.
Or he's like the Ernest, like in Ernest Scared Stupid, where he has like all the same outfits.
You're old. I don't get that reference.
Just a cartoon character, dude. Same thing every day.
You know what? Fair.
Did you know what he was talking about?
With
Ernest?
I know of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Old. Old.
Point taken.
All right, Drew. This is part 2. You know the drill. I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
It's a little different from the first one. What is something you do that you don't think anybody should do?
I don't think anybody should be completely selfless all the time. And by that I mean I'm a person that says yes if somebody asks me for help or for something. I will always, try to accommodate other people's needs over my own. It's like to a fault. Like I'm like a people pleaser kind of person. And I've only recently started trying to dial that back and get more comfortable, like telling people no and reassuring myself that it's okay to take, my time to do the things that I need to do for myself. Because forever I would spread myself completely thin. If anybody needed anything, I'd be right there immediately. And that's a good quality to have. But when you do it constantly and you don't attend to the things that you need to do for your own life, it's very self-destructive.
I feel like I recently, especially with the creative stuff, the stuff that I don't get paid to do, that I do at night, I feel like I stretch myself really thin. But then I realize there are only actually like 3 or 4 things I'm actually working on. The relationship, the stand-up, the podcast, the movies. I eliminate everything else. Maybe once every other weekend I'll hang out with friends to go see a movie.
Yeah.
But I eliminate everything else, and that gives me a peace of mind that I'm not stretching myself too thin. I get very fucking stressed out sometimes still, but no is a very powerful thing.
It's very important.
Very important. Not only for I feel like it's important for other people to know that you might say no.
Yeah.
You don't want to be seen as the guy that's always going to say yes and always going to be there, because then people will take you for granted.
Yeah, and that's happened many times over for me. And then it sometimes it gets to a point where when you do finally realize that you are being taken advantage of, and it does it'll ruin relationships for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had set boundaries in the past, it probably wouldn't have happened.
What are you doing with your newfound free time? Your self-love time.
I'm just doing stand-up more. That's what I want to do in my free time.
Do you take breaks from stand-up?
Sometimes. They're usually kind of forced. Like if I start working a bunch of overtime and I can't really do it because I'm just tired. But they're still nice because I do get refreshed and like want to go back and like get back into it.
I don't mind a break from stand-up. And by break, I mean still doing it at least once a week. Like I try at least once a week, try to get in the microphone.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, peak, I'll do 4 nights a week.
Yeah, same.
And I need a break from that because that's a lot. That wears on you.
Yeah, definitely. You get you can burn yourself out like pretty quick. It's tough for me to do it that much too because stand-up's at night. And it always goes late into the night, and I have to get up at 5 for work every morning.
Well, it only goes late if you stay.
Yeah, true. But who doesn't want to hang? You know, that's fun.
Hanging is fun, but dude, I've just been leaving. Like dude, I've just been leaving. I gotta get
I get it.
So what have you been eliminating to make time for stand up?
Right now nothing specifically because I've been working on it for a while, but there's like for a long time, like at least once or twice a week, somebody would ask me if like side jobs is a big thing because I'm an electrician. You know, people always have something that needs to be done, and if they know you, they're going to hit you up to do this stuff. One, because they think you'll do it for cheaper because you're cool, which is don't do that.
Sucks.
That's the worst thing you can ever do. But I got to a point where I just started saying I'm not doing any side jobs right now because they take up a lot of your time. It's like weird responsibility because like if something like bad happens at home, like there ends up being like a fire or something, because sometimes you don't know what else is going on if it's an older house or whatever, and that anxiety was just terrible to have. But so I stopped doing like side work like that, just so I would know at least my time not at work, I wouldn't be doing more of my work. And then just family asking for stuff, or like I had a truck, so people would always want me to help move stuff. And that sucks.
Having a truck is awesome.
Yeah.
But it also sucks. I literally just want to pick up a truck just so I could go to the drive-in movie theater and hang out in the bed of the truck.
Yeah, that is cool. I did that not too long ago.
Yeah? You put a whole bunch of blankets and pillows in the
back.
Yeah,
it was fun.
What movie did you see?
We saw, it was the new, it wasn't Mortal Kombat. It was Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
I think it was that.
I haven't seen that.
And then we mainly went to see the second movie. I don't remember what it was, but by the time I was just so
You
tired.
don't remember the movie that you were there to see?
No, I don't, because it was the late movie.
Was it Cruella?
No.
I saw Cruella in the drive-in
a few months
twice.
ago. I think it was the Purge. The new one.
I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, I didn't
I
either.
would have liked to.
I didn't either.
Dude, those late movies, man. A couple weeks ago, they were doing Halloween, like old Halloween flicks. The third movie was starting at 1 a.m.
Dude.
We left after the second movie.
Yeah.
Most cars did not leave after the second movie.
I barely can sit through one movie.
Who the fuck is staying there for a movie to end at fucking 3 a.m.?
Those are people that are passed out in their cars.
Or teenagers.
Yeah.
A lot of teenagers.
Yeah.
Driving was a fun time in high school. Yeah, I would like to see Shang-Chi. I'm going to see the cool Marvel movies in theater. Like the Spider-Man, and the Guardians, and
they're cool.
Doctor Strange.
They're good.
I am legitimately excited to see what they try to do with.
I'm excited for Scream 5, honestly.
Oh, don't even get me started. I got the Regal Club thing, so it's like $18 a month. You could see unlimited movies.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Unlimited.
Yeah, that's cool.
Whenever you want. A lot of movies to see. But then I'll still just go spend money at the drive-in.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad deal. It's like $20. You get to see multiple movies.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I love the drive-in.
If you go twice, it's paid for itself.
So you were a yes man.
Yeah.
A people pleaser.
Yes.
What people?
Anybody that I was
Like
like
what?
friends with, friends, family.
Were you at
friends of friends? Literally anybody.
Were you at the point where? Was it mostly side jobs?
It was that. It was, just helping out people with stuff. There was Like I do, like me and some of my friends, we do a lot of these like interesting projects. Like we'd build skate parks. That's like one
sick.
thing we've done for a while.
What do you mean build skate parks? Just like in the middle of nowhere?
No, like we do you know? I don't know if you know any of the skate shops around here. There's a place called TriStar in Parma.
I feel like I've heard of that.
We built the skate park for that shop.
Like in the back lot?
They have a big warehouse, and so half of it's the shop, and the other half is the skate park.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then the dude who was the old owner of TriStar, he sold it. He had like a big pole barn on his property, and he asked us to build a bowl for him. So we built a bowl for him. We've built various
How do you
ramps and stuff.
Build a bowl? You just go find an old swimming pool?
No, it's all made out of wood. My buddy that I build stuff with, he's like in his 40s. He's one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. He's been into skating forever. He's also an electrician, and he just has one of those minds for building things. When he gets into something, he learns so much. And
so he just grabs like a couple of his buddies and he makes a major woodworking project.
Yeah.
How long does it take?
It depends. The bowl took 3 or 4 months. The first time, because we've done various versions of TriStar since. So like the first time we built it, I think between the spine ramp and the street section, I can't remember exactly, maybe 8-9 months.
Because that's not cheap wood.
No.
You got to have nice, strong wood in the bowl. It'll splinter.
Yeah, I mean the top layer was all like birch, so it's really nice wood.
Dude, some guys came down and cut some birch down. I should have kept it. Sold it.
It's expensive.
Fucking pissed bastards took them.
But yeah, so like I started doing that when I was like 16 because TriStar, they were like talking about building this park, and I liked building stuff anyway, and I've been into skating forever, and that's the shop I grew up going to. I knew the owner pretty well, and I was like, hey, if you guys are looking for help, I'd love to help, and that's how I started helping with that. And my best friend that I'm still best friends with, we started doing it together, and we met this dude that builds it.
How old were you?
I was 16,
and he was in his 30s.
He was probably almost 40.
Did he touch you?
No, he did not touch me.
Shame.
I was begging for it too.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
I was like, all this wood? Is there any other wood?
Nice.
And we were all just cool. It was a lot of fun. Learned a lot and loved it. But then, as I got older, like it was still fun to do. I'd want to go and help, but you just acquire more responsibilities or other interests and things you also want to do, and it would be tough to say like, hey, I can't come help this weekend, or I can't come help on this project because I got a bunch of other stuff going on. So I would do it all and feel and be happy doing it because it was fun to do, but then I'd be stressed about the other things I wanted to be doing or could have been doing. And it was just this very problematic like thing. But in the past couple years, I've slowly gotten better at it and been like, we've had projects where I've said like, no, I can't come help, I got something going on, but then I'll also make time to go help because I do want to help and I do enjoy it.
Feels good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What was the trigger for you? Was there a specific event or a thing you agreed to do? Like, what was the trigger for you to realize I have to teach myself how to not say yes to everything?
There wasn't an exact trigger, specifically like something I was doing or whatever, but a few years ago I started having panic attacks out of nowhere, like, and I'd never had in my life before. And that got me down this rabbit hole of it that just having that caused me a bunch of anxiety, because if you don't know what a panic attack is or you had one, it's terrifying because you just think something is definitely wrong with you. You think you're gonna die, and like when I first had my first panic attack, I probably went to a doctor, 8 times in 2 months. It was
Damn.
I was so in and out because I thought something was seriously wrong with me, and then kind of kept boiling down. Well, we think it's an anxiety thing. I'm like, well, I'm not really an anxious person, and then that caused me to start researching anxiety and panic disorders and like onset panic disorders, and really delving into what the the clinical, I guess, definition of somebody with an anxiety disorder is. And I realized I definitely have that.
So, was it like? I mean, like you said, you didn't consider yourself an anxious person, because like you were taking on so much responsibility and like stress that you could handle. So it wasn't like a building anxiety. It was like, okay, you could handle this perfectly fine. One extra drop of stress,
No,
completely breaks.
it's not even that. It's like I couldn't handle it perfectly fine because I'd have that same like those same feelings or whatever the whole time of like, oh, I could be doing this, but like I want to be doing this, but I thought it was normal because I didn't know.
That's not normal.
No, I didn't know that. It's just who I was.
To be thinking about the opportunity cost of something.
I think it's. I mean, it probably is normal.
Yeah. So you agree to help a guy do something.
Yeah.
You're thinking about, oh, I kind of wish I was doing all this other stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds completely. That doesn't sound like a.
Are you saying it doesn't sound normal?
No, it sounds totally normal.
Okay.
FOMO.
FOMO.
I mean. Yeah.
But I'm saying there's a lot of other things that went into learning about like what anxiety is.
Were you thinking about like what?
And it was more or less the reasons that I wasn't turning down things. It was because I thought if I didn't do this like they wouldn't like me anymore, or it would cost me something, it would cause some kind of negativity to happen to me. It wasn't really. I don't think it was really rationalized.
Gotcha.
That's really what I mean.
That is the big thing. Being afraid other people won't like you.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing, but I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. Like everybody,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
very,
like most
very
people
common.
want to be liked.
Everybody wants to be liked.
Yeah,
It's very, very common being afraid that other people don't like you. But I mean, this is some pretty boilerplate advice that I try to give my friends who express this. Like, they're not thinking about you.
it's so true.
They're not thinking about you. If somebody asks you if they could borrow your truck to move, and you say no, they're not going to spend the rest. Well, unless they have a close relationship with you, like in a toxic relationship, they're not going to spend the next week with every breath cursing Drew Gigis because he didn't let him truck. They're going to try to find another truck.
Yeah, and
that's what their focus
and
is.
And that's what I've learned, and how it's been easier for me to kind of break away from that mentality.
It's sometimes like, I think, how would you respond? And it's kind of it can cause some problems to assume that everybody thinks the way you do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like general response, it's that like, yeah, if you asked a friend if they could do something and they said no, you would just be like, well, they can't do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't assume the worst.
I would also go out of my way to make sure I wouldn't have to ask anybody for help.
Oh,
which is
that's another problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Yeah, I know. But it's just kind of the way that I was wired.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same way. I will only ask for help if I need it.
Yeah.
If I need it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I like the feeling of accomplishing something on my own.
It is nice, but it's also not necessary all the time.
No.
But also, and some people like to feel needed. You know what I mean? Some people think that it's nice to ask them for help. Like, because now I'm at a point where I don't mind saying no, but sometimes, like, if somebody asks me, like, it does feel good. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll help.
Well, because it's an act of service.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Giving out goodness, like, gives you, it's like it gives you more goodness. Like, giving out gratitude makes you more grateful.
Act of service is one of my love languages, Gabe.
Really? So what you been doing for your lady?
Servicing, dude.
Just servicing the shit out of her. Wait, does that mean
I show love by
doing acts of service, but does that also mean that's how you want to receive love?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Nice, bro. Nice. She been servicing you?
Oh, yeah. It just helps me out all the time, dude.
Nice. Very nice. I don't know what my love languages are. I think it's time and touch. No, touch is definitely one of them. I don't know if it's time spent because I do like doing stuff with her. But sometimes I just want to be left alone.
I get that. I'm a big fan of I like being in the same room, but we're doing our own thing. Like that is very nice.
You just gave me a little chubby.
Yeah.
That's the move. Yeah, I'm working that into what ladies want and what men want.
Okay.
What men want is to be left alone, but for you to sit next to them while you do it. It's true. But because sometimes I don't even want to be touched. It's just like, ugh.
I feel like that too, but I mean,
Do you mind?
sometimes.
Give me some space.
Yeah, but like if you have good communication.
What are the other? So what are the touch, time, acts of service, gifts? What's the fifth one? Words of affirmation.
Yeah. My girlfriends are words of affirmation and quality time.
I give out a lot of words of affirmations. I mean, my girlfriend, my friends, even my friends, colleagues, coworkers.
Yeah.
I give it out. I love giving praise to people that
just stroke egos all day.
I think I don't think it's stroking egos. It's I mean, if I don't think they deserve it, I won't say it.
Yeah.
But I'm very genuine with what I say to people, but I don't give a shit if I get I don't give a the only person whose verbal opinion I care about is my own.
Yeah.
If I don't like what I'm doing, I don't care if the other person likes it.
I get that.
And if the other person doesn't like it, but I like it, it stays in the set. If I'm having fun up there, that's how I've been starting my host sets.
Hell yeah.
Well, because I started like they tell you when you host to have fun up there, because if you're having fun, the audience has fun. The only problem with that is when I'm having fun, it usually means I'm ruining your night.
That rules.
So this is supposed to technically be not an advice, but like a life philosophy podcast.
Yeah.
It was a literal panic attack that caused you to eventually reevaluate the way you contribute your time to others.
It was a string of
panic attacks. Are you having any now recently?
No, I haven't had any in a while, and it's because I did so much time like researching.
No medication or anything?
No. I don't. For me personally, like I never wanted to get into the medication aspect because there's a lot of people I've known. Not a lot. There's a few people I've known personally that I've seen get on medication, and it just did very negative things to them, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that medication can't help anybody. There's a lot of people that it does help, but for me, I tried to avoid it. If I got to a point where felt like I really needed it, I would have tried it, but I was able to deal with it without it.
It literally alters your brain chemistry.
Yeah, which some people need.
In an overall general sense, though, it will change how your brain operates or how you perceive your brain. Because, there are some that actually alter your brain chemistry. There are some that change, hormone receptors and whatnot. So whether you're mentally healthy or not, or it doesn't really depend on what your mental illness is, it's going to change you.
Yeah.
And if you're not prepared to take that change in stride and make adjustments to cater to that change, it's going to be a rough time. What I'm saying is,
know what you're getting into.
And do it with a therapist.
Yeah.
Who's going to walk, a good therapist.
Yeah, because so many people, so many doctors, they just want to give you
to medicate you
immediately. Because that's what happened to me when I went to the hospital. I saw some doctors. They were like, "Oh, we can give you this anti-anxiety medication, and it'll help you." And there was no suggestion of going to therapy with it. There was no suggestion of talking to a counselor first.
Scary.
They were just trying to give it to me, and I was like, "I'm not into that."
It's very scary.
It is.
And and this isn't true for everybody. Some people have chronic mental illness that they're just going to be living with and dealing with the rest of your life. But I've also heard, of people graduating from their medicine.
Yeah.
Which is another scary thing because you don't know if you're just going to come back.
Yeah, and that's got to be just fucking gut wrenching, not knowing.
It's terrifying. And sometimes I talk like just because I don't have a mental illness now, I never will have.
Yeah.
Life happens fast, and it happens a lot.
Yeah.
That shit could start in your 30s.
It's very true.
Gotta keep yourself physically and mentally fit as possible, and then literally just pray for the best. Literally just pray for the best. 70% of all insurance claims in the United States are preventable diseases.
That makes sense.
Smoking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Blood pressure, obesity.
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah, I believe that because we don't do anything until something's wrong.
Which means if you just like take care of yourself, you have a 70% of chance of nothing bad happening to you.
I think it's a.
I don't think that logic.
I don't think that's how it works.
Directly,
but it definitely improves the chance. That's for sure.
So it took a panic attack or a string of panic attacks
to
make you flip the switch. Do you have any advice or any words of motivation or inspiration for somebody who currently is completely selfless, doesn't know how to say no?
I think the best advice is to start recognizing the things that you do want to be doing and pursuing, and the things that are taking that time away, and figuring out a healthy way to delegate between them and be comfortable rejecting the things that you don't need to do to focus on what you want to do. At first it's pretty uncomfortable and it's hard. It is honestly hard because you're so used to doing it. But one, like you said, if it has to do with another person, like they're probably not going to care realistically. But also it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you don't want to waste the time doing things that you really don't want to be doing.
It seems so like hustler mindset and like finance bro mindset to be like, figure out what you want to do and cut out all of the people that are taking away from that. That is a very negative way of putting it. But it's essentially the same thing as what you just said. Find out what you want to do, work towards it.
Yeah.
And, do your best not to let yourself fall off the rails.
Yeah. That's all you can do. And just
cutting people off is a very harsh way of saying making yourself a little less available because you're dedicating your energy towards your life goals.
Yeah, with most things like what you're saying, like that like hustler mentality, it's like people act like shit's all or nothing, and it's not. There's a gray area, and it's okay to play with it. And I think the biggest thing, if the thing that is the problem is saying no, try with like little things. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know what specifically. Like, say if maybe your partner in a relationship asks you to like do something like that you don't want to do, say no, I don't feel like doing that, because that would happen to me too. I would do things that I wanted to just chill out that night or whatever, and then I would end up going to do something and being like, well, all right, I guess I'm doing this. And it always usually turns out to be fun, but sometimes, I'd rather be doing something else. And I think your partner's a good person to start with that, because as long as it's a healthy relationship, because if you have trust with them and good communication, then they'll understand. And if you have to explain it, then explain it. If that makes you feel better, explaining why you're saying no, maybe that'll help. If they understand your justification, maybe that'll make them feel better if you think it's going to make them react negatively towards you.
Dude, I didn't have to go to a single pumpkin patch this past fall.
You didn't hit the patch?
Thank God. Because
what about the orchard? You hit the apple orchard?
Nothing. I had to do nothing. She didn't even ask. Late August, I was like, I'm telling you right now, because our summer was so busy. Every weekend we were doing something, no breaks.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing any stupid fall shit. I'm not driving 45 minutes to dip a donut in hot apple cider. Let's go to Giant Eagle, get it done in 15 minutes. I didn't have to do anything.
So this is a good example of an unhealthy relationship.
She's happy.
Maybe.
No pumpkin patch, dude. I didn't have to go to a fucking pumpkin patch.
What's wrong with the patch?
Dude, I just want to relax on a Saturday morning.
I get that.
Sunday's football. We're not doing
I
anything
don't
then.
give a
You
shit about sports.
don't watch any sports?
Not really. No. I mean, I'll watch like UFC when it's, if it's something cool because it's like interesting, I guess. But I'm not a big sports guy.
And that is the Floss. If you liked part 2 of this feature episode and you want some bonus content, such as raw footage or bonus episodes, you can subscribe to the show's Patreon at patreon.com/theflosspod. Every episode of The Floss is recorded at Golden Ox Studio in Cleveland, Ohio. If you live in Cleveland and you need to say something into a microphone for any reason at all, do it at Golden Ox Studio. Jeremy's awesome. He cares a lot about Cleveland, and he'll give a huge shit about whatever you're making. I'm Gabe Gary, and thank you very much.